This segment is sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, welcome back, everyone. We've got with us tonight Kelly Albert with K9 Fishing. Now, Kelly, thank you first of all, because you probably gave us two great tips right there in how to put on line on our reels, whether it be a bait caster or a spin cast. And that's basically two of the most important things you can do. That line is what brings that fish into the boat. So
that's the connection.
That's the connection, and it better be an important one to you. That's why a line is so important. I'm going to ask you one question before we get to the knots. Here's a question that I get all the time. Hugh, when do I know when to change my line?
Change your line?
Yes.
Well, once again, it depends what type of line you're using. These braided lines, aside from the color fading after time through the sun and water, the braid pretty much lasts forever. You know, if you want to fish it till it turns white. Yeah. Even at that, another tip, a lot of times you can run your braid off of your reel because it's faded. You can run it onto another spool.
That's backing.
Well, the back side, the internal side of the braid still has the color.
Yeah, it still has the color.
Yeah, so you can pull it off and then re-spool it backwards and reuse your line just the opposite direction.
That's a great tip, too.
If you want to just really be cheap and save money, I suggest you go to the store and buy more K9.
Well, yeah, that would be it.
Get online and
but
make it happen.
What about fluorocarbon? Because even you and I, you discussed, you know, should you change every time you go fishing?
There's a lot of fluorocarbons, especially fishing in the summer in the heat and this and that, and a lot of lines have a lot more memory than, say, the K9. Your higher memory lines tend to have that coil, that memory, and it sets in quicker and it becomes kind of a nuisance fishing, and then you just get aggravated and pull it off and put a new line on. And some of the fluorocarbons do break down a lot quicker than others. You just got to watch.
When you start seeing the middle of your line and stuff like that, having little splinters, I call them, just little flake offs, that's when you need to change.
You're probably past due.
Past due. Past due. All right, well, we got a caller here. Mark, how can we help you tonight?
Well, yeah, I caught the tail end of last week's show when y'all were talking about them spraying grass on the Tennessee River. I was wondering, have they sprayed Kentucky Lake too?
Oh yeah, they do them all. I mean, that's part of the Tennessee River system. Yeah, they're gonna do what they can. The only thing about Kentucky Lake is it is so big that where they're spraying is mainly in the river system, and where they're putting this stuff, and it doesn't get to the sides and to the backwaters quite so much. But now it's a whole lot wider than, say, Old Hickory Lake, because they'll spray Old Hickory Lake, it affects it from miles. But Kentucky Lake's different because it's so massive, it can't affect it all. So that's what's so great about Kentucky Lake holding all the grass. Same thing with Guntersville. It's so massive that they can't kill it all, but they can take out sections. So we hope that helps you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
All right, I want to talk to you about the knots. The basic thing that people want to know is, you know, they've done the blood knot, which it takes, I mean, you have to sit there and do a lot of twisting to get it right.
Yeah.
And cinch it down. And it's a good knot, don't get me wrong. I've been using it. You found a better knot, or well, not maybe not a better knot, but an easier to tie knot that does just the same.
Well, there's two applications. The blood knot you talk about, usually we connect like the same kind of lines.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll do braid to braid, I'll do fluorocarbon to fluorocarbon, mono to mono, just like lines. But the problem we run into is when we try to connect, we have the reel spooled with braid, and now we're going to put that leader on. The blood knot typically will not hold on a braid to a fluorocarbon leader. It'll slip on you. So we needed another knot There's more than one out there.
Oh yeah.
But the best one I've found, here, we'll do you, we got props.
We got flashcards.
Alberto
knot.
Alberto knot.
Okay.
That knot seems to be the easiest. Sometimes I feel like I wish I had 3 hands here hold this.
Yeah.
So tonight I brought a prop just to help show how to do the Alberto knot.
Okay. Let's see that one.
And basically, this rod here was rigged for drop shotting. A lot of you people might have already tried drop shotting, or you want to learn, and the thing that's holding you up is how in the heck do I connect that braid to the fluorocarbon leader, and how long is the leader? Typically, if your knot, when we get this knot done, should be around the tip of your rod, and the sinker should be about at your reel. So usually your leader is about 6 feet long.
About 6 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So we're using braid, and we don't care what color it is because our bait's actually 6 feet away from it.
That's right.
And we've got a fluorocarbon leader, so the fish don't have a problem with it, and we've got sensitivity, and we got the whole deal. So I was born with the shake, so if your TV's moving, don't adjust. All right. If the yellow is your fluorocarbon leader,
okay,
and the pink is your braid coming from your reel,
okay,
basically all you do is make a loop with your fluorocarbon leader, and then just take the braid that's coming off your rod tip and stick it through the loop. And I'm going to use this stick here as my third hand just so you'll see, because all I want to do is I've put this through that loop. And then you do 7 to 9 wraps one direction, and I'm not going to do all of them, but it's 7 to 9 wraps that way. Mm-hmm. Let me make sure they can see this. And then we're just going to hold it with our finger and thumb and do the same number coming back. 7 to 9 coming right back over where we were. So all we did is go 7 one way and 7 back.
Okay.
Or 9 one way and 9 back. Our braid coming from our reel came through this loop that direction. So after we do our wrap that way and our wrap this way, all we do is stick the line through that loop the other direction. Okay?
Okay.
So what we have is the line is twisted 7 to 9 that way, 7 to 9 that way. We put it through there, and all you have to do is just start cinching that down. And this is rubber, it's not line, so it doesn't like to cinch, but you just basically cinch it down. You can help it with your hands, and what you end up with is a great knot that holds, and then just cut those tag ends off, and you end up with that connection right there. There's
and that'll easily go through the eyes?
Yeah, it goes right through.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Now, do you use saliva or whatever?
Oh yeah, anytime you tie a knot, doesn't matter if it's this one or any of them, I always never cinch it dry.
Never cinch a knot dry?
Nope, I always wet it.
Always wet it, that's good.
But that knot is easy to do.
Yeah, that's easy.
Just make a loop.
Brandon and I can do that.
Yeah, figure that out.
We can figure that one out. That's a great knot, but I tell you what, now how about tying to fluorocarbon to say a crankbait or a hook? Which knot do you recommend highly?
They say, I typically use a polymer knot, which basically, once again, you just double the line over, stick it through the O-ring, bring it over your bait, and then cinch it down. There's not much to it, a polymer knot. A lot of people say, well, with fluorocarbon, the polymer knot doesn't hold, and they've come out with these other knots, San Diego Jam and all this stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I mean, my goodness, I don't want to go to school that long. So
I want to fish.
I can tell you with canine, the polymer knot holds perfectly. We've never had one issue.
That's awesome. Now, I asked you before the show to talk because a lot of people have had trouble throwing a frog with braid line, say 30 to 60 pounds, 65-pound braid, the knot seems, if you do a polymer knot, it slips through.
Right. Yeah.
And you discussed a quick little remedy for that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. If you know how to tie your shoes, you're not going to lose your frog.
Okay.
Because basically all you do is the standard polymer knot we just did, and just do that little half hitch like you do when you start to tie your shoes. That just seems to put kind of a top on it and stops that slip.
Yeah. That's all you want, is to stop that slip, because braid is slick kind of, and it can pull right through. If you get a good fish, especially caught up in that muck, trying to bring him out, you can put a lot more strain on that fish than you think.
Right.
And that knot can slip.
Yeah.
But if you got that little half hitch, and that's exactly what I do.
It works like a charm.
It works like a charm.
Yep. We've got that real thin crappie braid, and it's the same thing. The thinner the braid, the more it slips.
Yeah.
But that half hitch holds it.
All right. Let's take a caller here. Keith. Keith, how can we help you tonight? Keith.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
This is Keith Bond.
Yeah.
I seen you over at Dayton Bears on Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you actually gave me a T-shirt, and I appreciate that. But I watch the show every Thursday or Sunday night.
Well, thank you.
But I appreciate what y'all doing. But I appreciate what you're doing. But I actually know that one to the left of you right there.
That's right, Brandon.
I know him. I know you. And
that's right.
I appreciate what you're doing, buddy.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Bye, buddy.
And we got, you want to take one more? Can we take one more?
I think we need to go to our tip of the week.
Well, we got to do our tip of the week.
Let's do our tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is being sponsored by Davison Farmers Co-op. You can go down and see them. They're right there on Dickerson Road, just off of Bradley Parkway.
Yeah.
All sorts of springtime sales and specials going on, and
they got all kinds of different colored chicks.
Chicks in down there, so go down there and
they got
get
some
your
neons
chicks. Yeah, they got them all.
Neon chicks. And hey, this week's tip is the easy one. If you're going to hunt WMAs, you got to keep this in mind. Leave the calls, the turkey calls, at home. Anything after March 1st, you cannot use a turkey call on the WMA till opening day of season.
Until opening day.
So don't go out there locating them with your turkey. You can still do it with a crow call or an owl call or a peacock, something like that, or a hawk. But you cannot use a female hen or a gobbler call during this time from March 1st until opening day of turkey season. So remember that, because you can get a heavy fine if they catch you doing that.
Yeah, you can, and it's good for everybody not to do that.
And it's fair.
It is. It keeps it where those birds aren't getting used to that calling for a month up until the season opens.
Yeah, I don't want them to be call shy on opening day.
Right.
So that's
good for everybody.
It's good advice.
It is.
But we hope that helps you out, keeps you out of trouble, okay? Remember, those licenses, by the way, are null and void that you had last year.
I got my brand new one.
That's
I'm good
right.
to go.
You better hang on those new ones. But we'll be right back with more of Southern Woods and Water in just a minute.